everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless,
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout, and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to a normal workout, the burn comes within the third rep, and then the 30-second break in between, there's no recovery. I can see the difference and feel the difference. It feels a lot more effective than just doing normal exercises.
Blood flow restriction training is the perfect tool to solve that fundamental problem. But this is something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't see very many places in Indiana at all.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw.
Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Developing athletes to be foundationally strong. Healthy and consistent training. Expert staff. Long-term athletic development. Parkview Sports Medicine Performance. Any athlete, any age, any skill level.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Welcome back to the Hutzel Center on the campus of St. Francis. We are coming to you live for game number 2 here as the number 31 ranked team in the country, West Virginia Tech, invades Cougar Nation, and they will take on St. Francis, the number 24 ranked team in the country, at 5-0. My name's Ryan Dellinger. I'll be your host for this second matchup. Sorry we're coming on a bit late, but we had a first game that just quite frankly would not end. There were 64 foul shots. There were multiple between the two teams. They turned the ball over about 40 times in the second half, and just a sloppy played second half. But the star in the first game this evening, Brandon Daughtry, he ended the game with 50 points on the evening for the Phantoms. Well, coming into this game, this is a big one between these two teams. Like I said, St. Francis on the season averaging about 82 points per game, giving up only 72. Their last game was a win over Michigan Dearborn, 78-70. Leading the team in scoring this season is Dolison. Dolison with 14 points a game. He's got a balanced scoring attack around him. Lutzenheiser with 11 points per game, and Cushenberry chipping in with 9. They're also getting 10 from Hunter Hollowell. For Chad Lacrosse's team, can they put it together for a full 40 minutes? We'll find out here shortly. For West Virginia Tech, they come into this game 2-2 overall, 1-0 in conference play. On the season, James Long's team averaging 79 points a game, only giving up 75. Their last game was a loss to Chowan, 88-93. So their leading scorer on the season, number 24, Scruggs, averaging 17 points a game. Array, he also number 3, averaging 15 points a game, and Martin with 10 points per game. You look at these two teams, a pretty even matchup here brewing at the Hutzel Center. We've got 3:20 to play here in our pregame. I want to thank our sponsors, Mills Supply and Parkview Sports Medicine. Updating you on some local high school scores. We know that some of you here, now that we have a local game going on with the local team, we know that it was Concordia trailing 21-14 to Bishop Chittard. That game was in the third quarter, and it was Bishop DeWanger hammering Harrison, I believe 28-0. 28-0 the score, and I'm looking at it right now. Homestead and Carmel tied at 7 in the second quarter. So could we get some teams moving on to the semi-state round? That still doesn't include, we don't know what's going on with South Adams and Adams Central and East Noble playing tonight as well. So a whole host of local teams trying to get to the semi-state. All right, we've got 2:20 to go. We'll take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll have the start of West Virginia Tech taking on your St. Francis Cougars.
The first time I've been able to do this kind of more complete understanding or view of your body. One of the things that's really important about this is that it's kind of legitimizing us as athletes.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Welcome back to the St. Francis. Clock about ready to tick down to zeros, and it's about time to meet our starters. We'll turn it over to our PA announcer, John Nolan.
Let us pray. Loving Lord, we thank you for all you've given us, the gift
Your starters again will be Martin, Array, Johnson, Thomas, Griffin, and Scruggs. Now for the St. Francis Cougars.
And now, your final 24th USF Cougars. At guard, 6-foot sophomore for Fort Wayne at Blackhawk Christian High School, number 2, Jalen Ball. At guard, 6'5", junior for Fishers, Indiana, number 4, Lance Collison. At guard, 6'2", senior from Convoy, Ohio, number 11, Connor Lutzenheiser. At guard, 5'8", sophomore from Indianapolis, number 12, Antoine Cushingberry. And at 4 to 6'7", sophomore from Greenwood, Indiana, number 32, Jeffrey Reynolds.
Your starters for St. Francis will be Moll, Dollison, Lutzenheiser, Cushionberry, and Reynolds. The head coach, Chad Lacrosse. The head coach for West Virginia Tech, James Long, and we are ready to go for the second game in the Northern Lakes Insurance Classic. It'll be West Virginia dressed in their, they're going with the actual West Virginia colors, aren't they? Those navy blue uniforms with the gold accents and numbers and letters. It'll be the Cougars in their gray uniforms. Reynolds will jump against number 22, Griffin. We are ready to go for our second game. Thank you for joining us here this evening on SummitCitySports.com. My name's Ryan Dellinger, and a couple of the players moving right when the official went in the circle. And he'll reset them and space them out, and here we go. Tipped and controlled by West Virginia. Quickly to the hoop goes number 24, and he puts it in. Scruggs, the leading scorer, ahead quickly to Lutzenheiser in the lane off the glass. Misses, tipped around, and comes down to number 3, Array. Array guarded there by Jalen Moll. Array across the timeline now. And now he'll go left, gets a screen, now goes back to the right. Tries to get in the lane, kicks it to number 22, a tie-up. As Griffin is tied up there with Reynolds, and the ball will go to St. Francis. And then they'll set up in a full court press. Nope, they're going to back out of it now, will West Virginia. And now over to Moll. Moll back over to Cushionberry and across the timeline. And inside now to Reynolds, who's wide open, and he'll hit the shot. And we have a quick timeout on the court, West Virginia. And I think we'll stay right here. It's just a 30-second timeout. Once again, earlier this evening, it was Taylor upending East-West University from Chicago 110-74. In that game, Brandon Daughtry with 50 points for East-West. And he is silky smooth, to say the least. A young man can hit it from the inside, from the outside, from the parking lot, from the playground. A very good game for Daughtry, even though it was in a loss. All right. Hopefully West Virginia got some things figured out, and they'll inbounds it now. And we're back under action. It is number 3, Array with the ball. He'll run the point guard duties. He's got Cushionberry all over him. And he'll give it up to number 2, Martin. Martin with Moll on him. And now to Griffin. Griffin looks, wants to drive on Reynolds. Spins in the lane, off the glass and good. Cushionberry now with the ball for the Cougars. He'll come left side to Lutzenheiser. Lutzenheiser over to Moll. He'll look inside. Good entry pass to Reynolds. He'll go cross court to Dollison. Around to Cushionberry. 15 on the shot clock. Johnson will come out and try to guard Cushionberry. Now over to Dollison. Dollison goes baseline on Scruggs and back up top to Cushionberry. 3 on the shot clock. Launches no good. Tipped and a push in the back on Lutzenheiser, and he'll pick up his first foul, first team foul. Johnson The player for West Virginia Tech, Andrew Johnson, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. Believe it or not, Hunter, when I played in high school, we had a Swedish player on our team too named Peter Hani, and he could launch from downtown. They'll back it down now, Ray. He'll kick it outside to Martin. Martin looks in the corner for Johnson, now back over to his point guard. Inside now to Scruggs. Scruggs on Lutzenheiser. He'll drive, kick it off the glass, no good. Rebound comes to Reynolds, and here comes the Cougars. It's Jalen Mall in transition to Cushenberry. Back to his target, Dollison, over to Mall. Mall tries to get in the lane, loses the handle, and it goes right to Reynolds. Dollison left side now to Cushenberry. Cushenberry gets a screen there by Reynolds and now has a slight height advantage now for Reynolds underneath. He'll have the ball deflected and a turnover by the Cougars. Here comes Array with the ball. He'll push it right to the top of the key and runs right over Jalen Mall, and Mall will get called for the blocking foul. His first, team second. We've got a good crowd here tonight at the Hutzel Center. The Northern Insurance Classic brought out some people tonight. Array with the ball now. He was wide open, didn't realize it. Lutzenheiser now on him. He'll turn baseline, up and under, and he's going to get called for a travel. And it'll be Jalen Mall to inbounds. A little token pressure here now by West Virginia Tech. They'll go into a 1-2-2 press here, and they'll back out of it now as Cushenberry has it and goes over to Dollison. Dollison with Scruggs. That's two big guys there, and he loses it, and another turnover on the Cougars. Array now pushes it in transition out to Griffin. Griffin will step back and cross-court it over to Martin. Dangerous pass now down to Scruggs. Scruggs is blocked, caught underneath the basket now, goes up strong and hits the bucket. And a 4-point lead. Mall with it now, guarded by Martin, and over to Cushenberry. Screen by Reynolds, and Cushenberry gets around that, and they'll call a hold on Johnson. Johnson's first, team's first. Jalen Mall to inbounds with 16:32 to play here in our first half. Cougars finding it hard to get any easy shots here early as Lutzenheiser has it now. He'll back it out and give it to Cushenberry. Cushenberry out between the circles, and he'll come here to the near side, looking inside for Reynolds. Reynolds did not realize how wide open he was as he caught that. Dollison now will launch a three and hit it for St. Francis. Dollison with a big three. And we have a whistle and a travel, and we'll take a look at that three by Dollison on the Traction AB replay as we'll have a couple subs come in for West Virginia Tech. Number 15, King in, along with number 11, Hayes. Jalen Mall to inbounds right in front of his own bench, and he'll throw it into Cushenberry. Martin on him. Left side goes Cushenberry, now up top to Jalen Mall. He'll look inside. They'll try to throw it inside to Reynolds. He'll catch it and go back outside to Cushenberry. Reverses over to Dollison. About a 26-footer on the way, no good, and it comes down to Martin. Back around they'll go all the way to the far side to King and back to Scruggs. Scruggs wants to give it up to Array, and they'll reset their offense with, the shot clock is not working. That three's on the way as King hits it. I'm not sure what happened to the shot clock there. King with a big three. Jalen Mall ahead now to Lutzenheiser. He'll look inside. He'll find Reynolds. Reynolds cross court now to Dollison. He'll pump fake and give it to Cushenberry. Inside once again to Reynolds. He's double teamed. He has the ball deflected, but it goes to Mall. Cushenberry now in the lane. Up high off the glass, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. We'll see who the foul was on. Number 3, Array, called with a foul. And we have a under 16 timeout. We'll take a timeout. You're watching college basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Early 4-point lead here for West Virginia Tech over St. Francis, as they've been able to get the ball inside and get some easy buckets here early. And we'll have going to the line, I believe, St. Francis will go to the line, and into the game, Hunter Hollowell, he'll check in along with Compton. Cushenberry to shoot two. Cushenberry's first one is good. Cushenberry from Indianapolis Warren Central, his second one up and good as well. And the lead down to two. It is number 11 handling the rock now. That is Hayes. Hayes will dribble it up with the Lutzenheiser right in his face. He'll drive in on him, throws it up off the bottom of the backboard. A turnover on West Virginia. Ahead to Reynolds. He'll push it and give it to Cushenberry. Around to Compton, who will ball fake. Ooh, missed a wide open player. Hollowell will launch a long three. Short off the front of the iron, and it comes down to Array. Array with it now. Ahead. And he'll slow it down. Cushenberry right in his mug. He'll cross over and go left. Tries to get in the lane, and it'll go off. Ooh, boy, that was close to being off for Array and out of bounds. Cushenberry with some quick hands there to knock it out of bounds. It'll be Hayes to inbounds. He's got King standing right to his right. He's trying to get it into Array. They will be able to get it into him now. He's got Cushenberry on him and backs it out. 12 to shoot on the shot clock. He'll drive baseline. Spins. Left-handed shot off the glass. No good. Cushenberry with the board. And he'll push it in transition, looking for Lutzenheiser. He has yet to score. Cushenberry now with the ball. He'll look inside now. A good look inside to Lutzenheiser, up off the glass, and we are tied after the bucket by Lutzenheiser. And it's a timeout on the court, a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching college basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Timeout over here, a quick one, 30-second timeout. We're tied up at 9. West Virginia Tech was out to a 9-5 lead, but Cougars have settled down here, and we're able to tie it up as number 15, King, will inbounds, and he'll look to get it into his guard, Martin. Compton on him. Left side now to King, and he's guarded there by Compton. They'll switch on that screen, the step back jumper, in and out, and it comes down to Reynolds. Reynolds now to Cushenberry. 13:41 to play here in our first half. Cushenberry will go over to the right side. He's trying to get in inside to his big fella Reynolds. Reynolds back to Compton. Compton gets a screen, now picked up by Martin over to Cushenberry. And they're going to call a hold on Johnson, and Johnson's going to pick up his second foul. That'll be the third team foul now on West Virginia Tech. Compton to inbounds, and he'll give it to Lutzenheiser. Lutzenheiser back to Cushenberry, and he'll back it out with 17 to shoot on the shot clock. Right side now, good entry pass off the fingertips of Reynolds and out of bounds. Reynolds didn't get much position there on, I believe that was King, and he just could not get up high enough to catch the ball as West Virginia Tech has the ball once again. Left side to Work, who just checked in, over to Johnson. Johnson goes baseline, tries to give it up to Work. Work catches it and has it blocked from behind by Hollowell. Gets his own loose ball and puts it in. Back into the lead goes West Virginia Tech. Lutzenheiser with it now, and back out to Cushenberry. Cushenberry gets a screen, good pass down low to the big fella Reynolds. He'll go reverse on that, and he's got his fourth point. Reynolds been able to get some good position here in the first half, just not able to finish. Martin right to the rock, off the front of the iron, and Reynolds with the board, his third. They'll push it up quickly in transition. Will Cushenberry around the screen, gets cut off and backs it out. Compton with the ball now. Cougars trying to get their first lead of this game. Compton around the screen, reverse layup up and off the glass, and St. Francis with their first lead of the night. Array with it now, and he almost had his pocket picks. He'll go to the hoop, and the ball goes off of him, out of bounds, a turnover. I'm not sure if he twisted his ankle on that play, but he's all right, and he'll go. I think he's going to get, in comes number 11, Hayes. He'll replace him into the game for St. Francis. Number 10, Thomas, and number 25, Ija. Ija, a big, tall, long player. Last game I had of St. Francis, he had 7 boards off the bench. Played a lot of meaningful minutes for St. Francis. The Cougars now with the ball. Thomas with it. He'll look and give it up to Compton. This is really a very good second unit that St. Francis has. Hunter Hollowell with a long three, and good. And the Cougars starting to get into some rhythm here in this first half. King with it now to Johnson. He's got Hollowell on him. Drives, and he's going to be fouled on the floor by Ija. Nope, they'll hit Hollowell with the foul. Dollison will check back in for Lutzenheiser as Hayes inbounds for West Virginia Tech with 11:21 to play. Quick one inside now to Work and back outside. Martin with it now with Thomas on him. He spins, got away with maybe a walk over to Hayes. Hayes strong to the hoop off the bottom of the iron, and it's going to be a foul on either Compton. Ooh, they're saying he was going up to shoot. Ija with the foul, and 2 foul shots coming for West Virginia. The Golden Bears with a chance to cut into the lead, and Hayes' foul shot is good. Second one no good. Dullison with the rebound. And ahead comes Thomas for St. Francis. Over now to Compton on the left wing. And down into the corner to Thomas. Reversed up to Hollowell and swung around now to Compton. He wants to drive on King in the lane and kicks it to Hollowell, who will launch again and hit another one. Hollowell with back-to-back threes, and the Cougars out to a 7-point lead. Martin with it now over to King. Now King will launch a long three. No good. Compton with the board. Ahead now to Hollowell. He thinks about the three and now kicks it to Dullison. Dullison with it. He's got Work all over him. Picks up his dribble and gives it to Thomas. Thomas is hit right at the top of the foul line by number 1, Work. And they'll set the shot clock back to 20 seconds. Scruggs will check back in for Johnson for West Virginia Tech. Thomas will inbounds for St. Francis. 10:23 to play. He's having a tough time getting in. Finally, he fires it in now to Compton. He'll catch it in the backcourt and start the offense between the circles for St. Francis. Compton with it now in the lane. He'll bring it back out, and Chad Lacrosse says, let's try something different here. He'll get a screen, and he's going to be fouled by Scruggs. Scruggs will pick up his first team foul, fourth on the Golden Bears. Both teams now with, the fifth team foul on Scruggs. 15 fouls, so one on him. And this has been a pretty good, clean first half. 10 minutes to play here. Thomas in the lane and throws it to a spectator in the front row. 4 turnovers here for the Cougars in the first 10 minutes. It'll be Martin to inbounds, and he'll give it to Hayes. Hayes is looking left and will go to King. King looks underneath for Scruggs. Dollison on him. Scruggs will turn, go across the lane, and put it up and drop it in. He's got 6. Scruggs a good-looking player. Big body. Him and Dollison should be a heck of a matchup all evening. Dollison gets the loose ball, looks to give it to Hollowell, and now to Compton. Compton will go to the hoop, floater up off the glass and good. Compton, a very good player in the lane for St. Francis. And now Martin with the ball once again for West Virginia. Work in the lane, takes a bump, goes off the glass, and Hollowell with the board. They'll push it ahead now while Thompson in transition. Kicks it to Dollison, ball fakes, gets smacked in the face, kicks it out to Hollowell, and he drains another one. Hollowell filling it here in the first half, filling it up from downtown. A timeout on the court. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future...
Well, our timeout was not for timeout. It was for a player that had a cut. So they quickly took him out, and we're right back to action here. 10-point lead now for the Cougars. Hunter Hollowell with 9 points with 3 3-pointers. Scruggs goes baseline. Ball fakes, kicks it outside to number 30, who's in Phillips. And down low to Hayes. 3 seconds. And he shoots off this. Oh, the bank is open for Hayes. Wow. He's got 4. A big bucket there for West Virginia. In the lane goes Thomas. He stops, picks up his dribble. Looks inside for Ija, now gives it to Ija. And that ball slapped away. Ija has Scruggs on him, and he'll go to Compton. Compton now spins. Wants to get in the lane again, and he's going to be slapped from behind, and a foul coming on Phillips. And that'll send Compton to the line to shoot 2. Take a look at this 3 here coming from Hayes as time is expiring here on this 3-point play. You see him here. He goes down to the baseline. He'll back it back out, keeps his dribble, and then says, holy crap, I got 1 second, and fires it, and the bank is open. Compton to shoot here for St. Francis, and it's good. Into the game comes big old number 1, Anderson. He'll replace Ija. And Compton's second one good as well. And the lead back to 9 for St. Francis. Phillips with it now, and he'll give it up to Scruggs. He's got Anderson on him. Anderson's, they set a pick on him, and his long arm was able to knock the ball off of Scruggs' hand and go out of bounds. And we have a media timeout. We'll take a timeout. You're watching college basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Grandpa taught me years ago. Do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Cougars out to a 9-point lead here over West Virginia Tech. Hunter Hollowell, the main weapon here early for St. Francis, as he has 9 early points. Cougars ball now. Cushenberry with it across the timeline. He'll bring it up. He's guarded there by Phillips. He'll look inside for Anderson. Anderson fakes, steps through it, and fires it to Hollowell. And why not? Hollowell with his fourth three-pointer of this first half. He leads all scorers with 12, and the lead up to 12, the largest lead of the night for St. Francis. Phillips right at the top of the key, fires to Scruggs. He'll launch a three. No good, and it hits the stanchion above the basket, and the ball will go back to St. Francis. 7:23 to play here in our first half. Cushenberry with it now for St. Francis. West Virginia will stay in a man-to-man defense, and they'll look inside for their big fella Anderson. Can't get him, so they'll give it to Dollison. Dollison back to Cushenberry on the left wing, and down low to Anderson, who got pushed off the block by Scruggs. Now Anderson will get called for a travel. 5 turnovers here on the Cougars in the first half. Hayes to inbounds, and St. Francis will pick up with a little token full court pressure. Nope, now they'll back out of it as King brings it up. Now to Scruggs. Scruggs back outside to Hayes. Hayes wants a screen. He'll get one. He'll get around one player, and he's blasted in the face by Anderson. And that'll be his first, team's 5th. St. Francis now into the bonus the rest of this first half. 6:50 to play here in what's been a very good, well-played first half. Hayes to inbounds. He'll look, fires it to work, off the glass and good. A nice set play for West Virginia Tech off of the inbounds pass. Compton with it now. He'll slow it up. He's waiting, he's looking for Anderson. Now he's got him down on the block, and Anderson knows what he wants to do with it. He'll back down Scruggs, puts a shoulder into him, and they're going to call him for a travel. All of our non-paid officials do not agree, Hunter. And neither does the head coach, Chad Lacrosse. And the ball will go back to West Virginia. They trail now by 10. We'll have another sub coming in for West Virginia here shortly. Hayes in the lane on Anderson, and he's bumped, and he's going to get called for a push. An offensive foul call coming on Hayes. So that's a 17 foul. It's a player control foul. St. Francis wants to use one of the timeouts, and they do. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw. Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibbs for shot, scores!
comes.
30-second timeout over at St. Francis ball. Cushenberry into the front court. He's got a ray on him over to Hollowell. Hollowell's been hot. He's got 4 3-pointers on 5 attempts. Dullison picks up his dribble and gives it up to Cushenberry. He'll stop and pop a 15-footer, and it'll go in. And the Cougars lead back to 12. We've got 5:49 to play in the first quick half. It is number 22 into the game. That is Griffin back into the game. He was an original starter. Good play there by Hayes as he takes a bump by Compton. Misses the bunny, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. You take a look at both Hayes and Array. They both are well built in their lower halves, and they're able to take some contact in that lane and able to get the ball up to the bucket as a shot goes down for number 11, Hayes. That'll bring Jalen Mall back into the game along with Lutzenheiser and Reynolds. So the original starters back into the game. Here's the free throw, up and good. Cushenberry with the ball, 5:30 to play here in the first half. He'll look inside. Now we'll go right side, and Lutzenheiser will reverse, gets cut off and gives it to Mall. Mall around one player and over to Reynolds off the glass and good. Reynolds now with 6. Give that assist to Jalen Mall. Hayes with it now. He's going to take over the point guard duties with Array back into the game. And he'll have Jalen Mall on him. Now to Griffin. Back to Hayes. Hayes will kick it out to Array. Array not much of a threat to shoot from outside thus far for West Virginia Tech. 10 on the shot clock. Goes to the hoop. Off the glass. The lefty misses it. And it comes down to Dullison. Dullison now to Jalen Mall. He'll race it into the front court. Looks for Reynolds. Now outside to Lutzenheiser. 3-pointer on the way. No good. Off the back of the iron in Array with the rebound for West Virginia Tech. Hayes will slow it up. And he'll drive right. He'll look inside for Scruggs. Scruggs steps back. Thinks about a 3. Now drives on Lutzenheiser. Gets a lane. Oh, he's bumped on the hip. Goes down hard. No call. Lutzenheiser with the foul, and that will send Scruggs to the line. Lutzenheiser now with 2. At the line shooting 1-on-1 is Scruggs. And number 2 will check back in. Martin for the Golden Bears. Got to stand up, Hunter. Getting a little stiff here. It'll be Scruggs to shoot. The foul shot is foul shot up and good. Scruggs now with 7. Lutzenheiser will check out. In comes Hunter Hollowell. Hollowell's had a hot hand here in the first half for St. Francis. Scruggs' second one up and good. And the lead back down to 10. Cushenberry gets a good screen. Now goes to the rack. Throws it up off the glass. Misses it. Tipped around it. And controlled by Griffin. Ahead to Martin in the lane. Off the glass, no good. And a rebound there goes to Reynolds. And he's picked up his dribble. Now to Dullison. Dullison ahead. Fires it to Hollowell. And he drains another one. Hunter Hollowell with his 5th 3 of the first half. Wow. Array into the air. Oh, threw it through the legs of Jalen Mall. He didn't see it. And here we go. Array with the ball with Cushenberry draped all over him. 13-point lead now for St. Francis. Array with it back to Griffin. He'll think about it, now launch it. Off the side of the iron, tip. And who's going to come up with it? It's Dullison with the rebound. 3:25 to play here in the first half from the Hutzel Center. Cushenberry slows it. He's got Scruggs on him. Now Griffin. He wants a screen and gets one. 13 on the shot clock and gives it to Dullison. Dullison wants to drive. He'll get right to the rack. Throws it up off the glass. No good. Griffin with those long arms with another board. Array with it now. He wants to give it up to King. Now will stay there on the right side. He wants to back Jalen Mall down. He'll go to the hoop. The left-handed shot off the glass and good. Array with his first bucket of the night. Here comes Cushenberry quickly into the front court, gives it up to Dullison. Launches a three, and Array with the board. Array now with 2:30 to play. Scruggs with the ball fake, and they're going to call a foul on number 4, Dullison. That'll send Scruggs to the line to shoot 1-1. Eja's going to check in for St. Francis. Ooh, we've got a player here coming in, number 5. That is Keandre King that checks in for West Virginia. And Scruggs will be at the line shooting. His foul shot is good. Scruggs now with 9 points. Scruggs' second one in and out and rebounded by Jalen Mull. He'll push it into the front court, goes right to the rack and backs it out. 2:20 to play here in the first half. Cushenberry with the ball now. He'll drive on King. Gets to the hoop, gets fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot. I don't know if they're going to call the shot. Either way, they're going to be at the line shooting something. 2 shots coming now for Cushenberry. And fouls on number 3, Array, and now Array now with 2 fouls. Cushenberry will shoot 2. 2:16 to play here in a good first half. Cushenberry's foul shot up and good. Cushenberry again, and he hits it. Cougars perfect from the line here in the first half. Martin with it now. He gets a screen there, and they're going to call an illegal screen on Scruggs. And that will get Hayes and Work back in the lineup. Now, Hunter, I'm going to tell you that foul is a bad one because it came from the guard. His own guard did that to him on that play. He had the screen, went the wrong way, and it really is the reason why that foul was made. That's when you go back and you take a look at the film tomorrow or tonight with the team, and Scruggs will say, hey, knucklehead, you went the wrong way. And that caused me to get my second foul, and they'll call that foul on Eja. Eja picks up his second. And we'll go the other way and we'll shoot 1-1. Both teams now into the double bonus. Used to make me so mad, Hunter, when I played in high school and college, and the guy, you'd have a perfect screen set for him, and they didn't know how to use it. And Work will check in for Scruggs, and he'll sit down with those 2 fouls and his 9 points. So at the line, shooting 1-1 is King. King's free throw up and good. Both teams very good from the foul line. Back into the game for St. Francis is Compton. He'll replace Cushenberry. We've got less than 2 minutes to play here in our first half. The Northern Lakes Insurance Classic has been good thus far. Second one up and good. Ten-point lead here. Cougars going to run some clock here as Dullison has it. He's got Hayes on him, now to Reynolds. Reynolds back to Mull. Mull thinks about it. Now he's got Work on him, drives left, goes up, and it'll roll around and go in for Jalen Mull. So Mull with his first bucket, and he'll go to the line to shoot a free throw here, the and one. And that foul was on. That was on Work, his second. And Scruggs will come in for him. Jalen Mull to shoot the and one. Cougars started out really slow, but they have picked it up down the stretch here in this first half. Mull with the free throw. And now St. Francis into a 2-1-2 as Reynolds picks it off. Look out, here comes the big fella, and he'll put it down for the dunk. And he comes up with a big play there for the Cougars on the deflection as he takes it down and dunks it. Here's a 3-ball on the way. Air ball wide right and out of bounds was King. And the ball goes back to St. Francis. 6 turnovers now on Tech. Inbounded now to Jalen Mull, 1:07 to play. Now to Hollowell, back to Reynolds. And they're setting up a play for Compton. Compton comes off that screen, and now we'll back it back out. He'll look inside. They can go in there. I would go, oh, bad pass there by Compton over the head of his intended target there, Reynolds. And they could go in there because I'm sure that Scruggs is not going to try and do too much since he has 2 fouls and a turnover on the double dribble by Array. He just got caught in the air. And back into the game comes Work, and I think he'll replace Scruggs. Scruggs has got 2 fouls. They don't want him to get that third. So with 37.7 seconds to play here in our first half, St. Francis with the ball. About 7 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. Jalen Mull across the timeline, and he'll loses it in the air. Just got caught. Reynolds with the rebound. Hollowell with the 3, and he knocks down another one. Hunter Hollowell, my goodness. And another one on the way, no good, tipped around. Hunter Hollowell might as well just shoot it from there, Hunter. He's got 6 threes. Compton now with the ball, 7 seconds. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. Compton with a step back 3 off the back of the iron, and that will do it for the first half. 46-28, the Cougars lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the stats. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout, and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that The buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to like a normal workout, the burn comes like within the third rep, and then the 30-second break in between, there's no like recovery. I can see the difference and feel the difference. It feels a lot more effective than just doing normal exercises.
Blood flow restriction training is the perfect tool to solve that fundamental problem. But this is something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't see very many places in Indiana at all.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw. Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibson. Shot scores.
Rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting me up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Developing athletes to be foundationally strong. Healthy and consistent training. Expert staff. Long-term athletic development. Parkview Sports Medicine Performance. Any athlete, any age, any skill level.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.
Welcome back to the Hutzel Center. We are at halftime here between West Virginia Tech and St. Francis. The Cougars enjoying a nice lead here late in this first half, and that's how they got to this point where they lead 46-28. And one name, Hunter Hollowell. The young man had himself a first half. He scored 18 points. And he went 6 of 7 from downtown for the Cougars. He leads all scorers with 18. Austin Compton checking in with 6 points in that first half. 8 from Jeffrey Reynolds, 3 from Jalen Mall, 3 from Lance Dullison, 2 from Lutzenheiser, and 6 from Cushenberry. The Cougars in the first half shot 16 of 26 from the field for good for 61%. From three-point land, they shot 7 of 12. Of course, 6 of those coming from Hunter Hollowell, good for 58%. And they were a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line. And they started slow, and they picked it up here late in this first half, and that's why they enjoy this big lead. For West Virginia Tech, they got 2 points from Griffin, 2 from Array, 9 from Scruggs, 4 from Work, 6 from Hayes, and 5 from Dominic King. They shot 9 of 25 from the field, good for 36%. From three-point land, just 2 of 6 for 33%. And from the foul line, they shot a respectable 8 of 10 for 80%. And of the bench scoring, West Virginia with 15 points off the bench. The University of St. Francis with 24 points. So both teams, I'll tell you, it was a pretty good first half, to be honest with you. A fairly smooth first half. It was much like our first game we had today, where it was a really good first half. Well, then you had to play the second half. And the second half took 1 hour and 12 minutes. You know, honestly, Hunter, we should be going home right now. But that second half of the first game took forever. They shot about, I think we counted 64 foul shots. There were over, I don't know. Let's see here. I can tell you. Between the two teams, they combined for almost 40 turnovers. And I don't know, I ran out of ink with all the fouls that we had in the game. But Taylor was able to beat a very game East-West team earlier this evening, 110-74. In that game, Brandon Daughtry. Remember that name tomorrow if you come back and watch if you're a Cougars fan, because you're going to have to guard that guy. He only went for 50 of their 74 points in a loss earlier this evening to Taylor. So the Northern Lakes Classic, Insurance Classic, underway here with a bang, with Daughtry getting 50 points earlier today. Taking a look at tomorrow's games, at 1 p.m. it will be Taylor taking on West Virginia Tech, and then at 3 o'clock East-West will take on St. Francis right here from the Hutzel Center. Well, both teams are out here on the court warming up. The only team out here is West Virginia Tech, as they are getting their early warm-ups in here before we get started here in the second half. Some scores from around the area in high school football. We do have some teams moving on, boys and girls, namely Bishop Dwenger. Bishop Dwenger takes care of business tonight against Harrison. They'll move on and play next week. We're against Valparaiso, and we're pretty sure that game's coming here to Fort Wayne. So the Bishop Dwenger in 5A this year, they move up, and nothing has changed. They'll move on to a semi-state next Friday night. Carmel has defeated a good Homestead team tonight. That last check, they were up 31-7. Concordia got blown out tonight, but they had an impressive run in postseason. We know that East Noble has also advanced, so we'll have to find out where they go. And in the shocker of the evening, down in Adams County, South Adams is going to get beat tonight by Adams Central. So Adams Central will move on to a semi-state next week. So hopefully we can bring you some of those games right here on Summit City Sports. Well, the Cougars back out on the court. Chad Lacrosse's team ready to go for the second half. We'll take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second half. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
The first time I've been able to do this kind of more complete understanding or view of your body. One of the things that's really important about this is that it's kind of legitimizing us as athletes.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
We're back underway here in the second half at St. Francis. It'll be West Virginia Tech ball. It's Martin with it now with Maul on him. Over to Scruggs. Scruggs around the screen, goes right to the hoop, gets bumped, and with all that muscle, he's able to get it into the bucket. I like Scruggs. That dude's a tough, hard player. Cushenberry with it now as St. Francis brings it into the front court. They'll have a Ray on him, drives right, kicks it out to Dullison. Dullison in the lane gets called for a push in the back on Johnson. Johnson will pick up his third foul. Andreas Johnson's played about 5 minutes and has 3 fouls. Ball will inbounds now to Lutzenheiser, up top to Dullison. Dullison swings it to Cushenberry. Down low now to the big fella Reynolds. Reynolds with Griffin all over him. Drives baseline, now back up and under, and hits the bucket. He's got 10, and the lead up to 18. Array with the ball now for Virginia Tech. He'll go West Virginia Tech. He's blocked. A turnover, and here comes St. Francis. Ahead now to Cushenberry. Trailing now is Dullison. He'll catch it. Good look underneath to the big fella. Left-handed jumper in the lane. No good. Tipped and controlled by Scruggs. And now it is Martin across the timeline. And left side now to Johnson. Johnson loses control and gives it back to Array. Dullison can really just back off of him. And now the switch they needed is Johnson has it over to Martin. Martin wants to go a little one-on-one. Ball fakes, goes up left-handed, and in and out, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Fouls on Reynolds. That'll be his first, team's first. At the line, the shooting is Martin. And the first one up and good for Martin. His first points of the night. Head coach James Long having a discussion here with Griffin right in front of us. And a shot up and good is Martin. Griffin needs to come over to my house, Hunter, and eat some cheeseburgers with my guys. They'd fatten him up quickly. Outside now to Dollison. He'll launch a three from the corner. No good. Array with his fifth board. He'll push it ahead. Now in transition comes West Virginia Tech. And Johnson will launch a three. No good. And it's another rebound. The fifth in the game now for Reynolds, and Cushenberry over to Dollison. In the corner now to Mull. He'll drive baseline off the glass. Misses the bunny, and Griffin with the rebound. Scruggs with it back over to Martin. Good look inside for Array. He'll give it to Griffin with a 15-footer. No good. Dollison with the rebound. He's got 4 rebounds, and he'll bring it across the timeline. Right side now to Mull. He'll look inside. Good pass now, and a push in the back by Griffin. That'll be his first. Team second. Cougars will inbounds under their own basket with 17:36 to play. Jalen Mull with the ball. And he'll give it to Dullison, back to Mull. Mull trapped in that corner and now wants to go one-on-one. He'll get in the lane. He dishes it and turns it over. Nobody wants to get the ball, and then Johnson comes up with it. Now to Scruggs. Scruggs with it now, right to the hoop, off the glass, no good. Lutzenizer with the rebound. Now to Mull, and he'll back it out. Mull, and Johnson going to get called with another foul. His fourth. James Long is staring at him. Is he going to leave him in there? Yeah. And nope, they're going to get Hayes up off the bench. He'll come back into the game for the Golden Bears. Ball to inbounds. He'll trigger it in now to Cushenberry. Clock goes over under 17 minutes to play. He's got Hayes on him. Gets the screen there by Reynolds. Now has Griffin on him. Wants to drive. Gives it to Reynolds. Left-handed bunny off the glass. No good. Hayes with the board. He'll push it up to Scruggs. Now to Martin. Martin will launch a three and hit it. And here comes the Golden Bears. They trail by 13. Dollison in the lane now to Reynolds. He'll give it back to Mull. Mull drive, goes to the hoop, off the glass, and fouled by either Scruggs or Martin. Fouls on Martin, his first, team's fourth. At the line shooting 2 will be Jalen Mull. Hunter Hollowell set to check back in for St. Francis, along with King for the Golden Bears. Dollison will take a break along with Griffin for each team, so good break for both of those two guys. And Mull's second one up and good. Jalen Mull played his high school ball right here in Fort Wayne at Black Hawk Christian. Hayes with it now, up to Martin. Martin just hit a big three, now back to Hayes and over to Scruggs. The Cougars will go into a 1-3-1 half-court trapping defense here. Good look down low to Array. He'll dribble it back out. 17 to shoot on the shot clock, and right back to Martin. Martin looks, ball fakes. Now down low to the big fella Scruggs. He'll face up, turns, 7 seconds. Down low now to King. A little 5-footer on the way is good. Timeout on the court. West Virginia will take a timeout. You're watching college basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Timeout over here. Went from a 30-second to a full timeout while we were in break. So the two teams just about coming out of the break. I spoke earlier about Bishop Dwenger. Spoke too soon. Evidently, they're going to go to Valparaiso and play. So they're not going to play a game in the time zone, evidently, here the rest of the season. Their closest drive the rest of the way out will be if they can get down to Lucas Oil Stadium. About a 3-hour drive up to Valparaiso next week for the Saints. Cushenberry with the ball now for St. Francis. He'll look inside for Reynolds. A little deep there on the block. He'll turn on Hayes. Loses it off his hip. Throws it up off the glass and hits the shot. We'll take a look at that again on the Traction AP replay as Hayes picks up a foul. Hayes is second, team's fifth. Reynolds foul shot up and good. Cougars lead back to 16 here as Array has it now. In the corner to quick shot there by King. He was in rhythm, but just went in and out. Lutzenizer with the ball. He has been quiet tonight. Now up off the glass and good. Lutzenizer with just his fourth point, and the Cougars will come back with that 1-3-1 half-court trap. Inside and outside now to King, back down low, and Lutzenizer going to pick up a GP there. He'll pick up his third, and we'll see if Coach Chad Lacrosse gets somebody into the game. He will. It's Thomas. And also back into the game for West Virginia Tech is Work. He'll replace Scruggs. King will inbounds under his own basket. That last timeout, Compton checked in for the Cougars as well. They'll look, fired inbounds. Good. Oh, Cushenberry does not like that. He thought he got all ball. He'll get whistled for the foul. His first. That will send Work to the line to shoot two. And that ball in and out. Andrew Work with his second attempt, and it's good. Cushenberry will push it ahead now for St. Francis, and he'll go to Compton. Compton back to Cushenberry and down low to Reynolds. Reynolds will back down on Work. Too much height there, and he puts in another one. Reynolds with 15. Array with it now. He gets a step, goes to the hoop. Off the glass, no good. Reynolds with another board, it's 6. Now Compton in transition for St. Francis. Ahead to Hollowell. He'll launch a three from the corner and knock it down. Hunter Hollowell is unconscious tonight. He's got 21 on 7 of 8 from downtown. Martin puts it in for West Virginia Tech. Cushenberry to the rack, and he hits the shot. And now they'll slow it up. Will the Golden Bears? They'll look inside, and now King with it. And he'll ball fake and go back to Array. Array looking to swing it quickly, but can't. And now to King. He'll launch a three, in and out again as Hollowell comes up with the board. Hollowell again, thought about it, now gives it to Cushenberry. He'll look inside. Nice play by Reynolds to catch that loose ball. Now to Compton, and he hits his shot. Wow, Compton with the big bucket. Give that assist to Reynolds. Timeout on the court. West Virginia Tech will take a timeout. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Brooks steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Carl. Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Gibbs for shot, scores!
Rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
West Virginia Tech with the ball. Ray with it now. Ija back into the game for St. Francis. He'll run that top of that 1-3-1. Another long person out there to run it. A loose ball picked up there by the Cougars. They'll push it ahead. Here comes Thomas. He'll slow it up now and fire it to Hollowell. He'll shoot it from Huntington. He'll miss the shot, and Ija going to get called with a push in the back. So Hollowell is 7 of 9 from downtown. David Ija with a foul, his third. Hayes with it now for Virginia Tech, or West Virginia Tech. He'll get a screen there, fires it to Phillips, who just came into the game. He'll go up, miss the bunny, and Ija with the board. And now Cushenberry with it. 12:57 to play here in our second half. Cushenberry fouled by Phillips on the floor. Phillips will pick up his second. It's not the NBA. There's no continuation. And now St. Francis will be in the bonus. It'll be Thomas to inbounds for St. Francis. He'll try to get it to Compton. Now he'll throw it into Ija on the right wing. Ija back to Cushenberry. And they'll reset their offense. Cushenberry will be patient here. He'll drive to the top of the key. Left-handed layup off the glass is good. Antoine Cushenberry having a big night. Cushenberry now with 10 points. Hayes with it now for Tech. And he'll slow it down and give it to Array. Kind of see that the wheels have kind of come off for West Virginia Tech here as Hayes will launch a three and hit it. And we'll have a push on the court, and down is Compton. Not sure if they're calling this foul on a Cougar or a Golden Bear. They are, and they're going to call it on King. Dominic King, and we'll go the other way, and I think it'll be Compton shooting 1-1. Up off the bench for St. Francis is Anderson. Anderson will check in. Anderson is from Troy, Ohio, Troy Christian High School. Compton at the line, shooting 1-1 for the Cougars. They lead by 23 with 12:21 to play. Free throw up and good for Compton. Compton now with 9 points, looking to get into double figures. Compton's free throw rolls around and goes in. Somebody in the crowd I heard, get in there. Must be a family member. Hayes with it now. He'll slow it up. He'll fire it over the top of Ija and over to Array. Now into the corner. That is number 5 into the game. That is King back in. And ouch, Hayes got bumped by Anderson. 2 fouls on Anderson now, 5 on the Cougars. Hayes ran into a brick wall. Anderson looks like he ought to be playing on the Cougars football team. Hayes will drive baseline, kicks it out to King. He'll ball fake and give it up to Phillips, who will launch a three off the side of the bucket. No good. Quick outlet and picked off. Up now comes Hayes. He'll ball fake. He'll go baseline on Ija. Kicks it to Ray, who gets in the lane. He's fouled and hits the bucket. Junior Ray will go to the line to shoot the and one. The foul on St. Francis's number 25, Ija. He picks up his fifth, and now both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. Dullison at the scorer's table. A Ray's free throw is good. He'll come back in, Will Dullison. He'll replace Ija. Just not Ija's night. Lots of fouls, and he'll take a seat. Take the good bad with the bad with the ugly with the young guys here at the Cougars. It is Compton with the ball now with 11:35 to play. He'll bring it between the circles now and come back to Thomas. Thomas wants to drive, loses it out of bounds. Cougars with 10 turnovers. Worked inbounds now to Array. 22-point lead now for St. Francis. Array slows it up. In the corner now for King. And he might have got away with a bit of a walk. Now King will launch from the corner. In and out, and it comes down to Dullison. His fifth rebound. Now he'll give it up to Thomas. And slows it up. And gives it to Hollowell. Hollowell thought about it. He's going to drive. Can he make a two? He can. And for Hollowell, that absolutely ruins his line now. It was all threes to that point. Outside now, Hayes with a long three, in and out, and Anderson comes up with a board. He'll fire it to Thomas, and in transition comes the Cougars. Thomas reverse on that, no good, and it comes down to Hayes. Hayes now into the front court. He'll stop, looks inside to work. Work ball fakes, goes up strong, and Anderson stands his ground and comes up with a board. Some good minutes here by Anderson. Compton with it now with 10 minutes to play. He'll slow it down. He's got Phillips right out there on him. Now gives it to Thomas, and he's fouled by Hayes. Hayes will pick up his third. That'll send Thomas to the line. Eight team fouls now on West Virginia Tech. Free throw is good. Back into the game for West Virginia Tech is Scruggs. Scruggs will replace Array. Second one up and good as well. Phillips now over to Hayes, who will try to get in the lane. He'll ball fake, gets fouled, and hits the bucket. That foul will be on Anderson. Take a look at Hayes here. He'll go strong to the bucket. I mentioned it in the first half. He's a pretty stocky, well-built young man, and he's able to get in that lane and take a bump, even from the bigger players, and he knocks down that bucket, and he'll get a three-point play. I like Hayes' game. Thomas with the ball now right side to Dullison. He'll look and give it up to Anderson, and back down to Thomas, and back to Dullison, and they're going to call, I believe, Hayes with a hold. Actually with a push. Hayes is fourth, and that will send the Cougars to the line. Anderson to shoot the 1-and-1 for the Cougars. Cougars on the season averaging about some points a game, and they're getting close to it as Scruggs pulls down the rebound for West Virginia Tech, and he'll bring it up the court. He'll give it up to Hayes. Hayes behind the back and backs it out. St. Francis looks like they're trying to go to man, but I'm not sure they're all on the same page. Hayes takes a bump again, throws it up, no good, and Anderson with another board. They'll push it ahead again, will the Cougars, and give it up to Compton. Compton in the lane. And I'm not sure who that went off of. I was blocked here from the play. And they'll say off of Tech, and the ball will stay with the St. Francis. Into the game comes Reynolds. And he'll replace Anderson. And here are the Cougars with the ball once again. They'll give it to Hollowell. Hollowell is king on him, and he'll give it up top to Dullison. He'll get a screen there by Reynolds. He'll have Scruggs on him, gets another screen, runs over one guy, throws it off the glass, misses it, and Scruggs with the board. Scruggs will just get the rebound and bring it up the court. Why not? Nobody picks him up, goes to the rack, misses it, and it is Dullison with another board. His sixth. He'll ball fake and give it to Hollowell. Good look underneath, and the big fella misses the bunny, and Scruggs with another board. Scruggs comes up limping a bit after that play. 8:28 to play. Difference between this game and last game is there's a lot of control here in the second half. I know both teams, there's 16 team fouls between the two teams, but they've really worked their offense, and there's not a lot of fouls going on that have slowed down either team. Scruggs comes up with a loose ball and fires and hits a three. Did that with 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. 20-point lead now for St. Francis. Compton with the ball. Got to believe we're coming up on an immediate timeout here shortly. Compton with it now. A lot of dribbling, and he'll give it up to Hollowell. Looks inside for Reynolds. Nice pass. Goes up strong. Reynolds takes the bump and hits another shot. Reynolds now with 17 for St. Francis. Hayes with it now, and now the St. Francis has finally figured out which defense they're in. They'll play man-to-man here as Compton tries to guard Hayes. He'll lose control, and he'll keep dribbling, and he'll fire a three. That's going to be off the front of the iron, and Reynolds outfights Scruggs for the board. And now Compton bumped by Work, and he'll go to the line to shoot, I believe, two. It is. So it'll be 2 foul shots coming for Compton. And we do have the under 8 timeout. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Back here at the Hutzel Center, we got 7:16 to play. It's all Cougars. They lead by 24 over West Virginia Tech. St. Francis just 8 points away from getting to their season average. Tomorrow here in the Northern Insurance Classic at 1 o'clock, it'll be Taylor taking on West Virginia Tech. And in game number 2, it'll be East West from Chicago taking on the University of St. Francis. Compton at the line to shoot 2 for St. Francis. The Cougars in the double bonus. His first offering is good. Compton with a nice smooth touch. And Compton with the second one, good. Jalen Mull will replace Compton. And now St. Francis is going to pick up a little full court here, a little token defense again, as Hayes has it for West Virginia Tech. Work with it, and I thought they were going to call him for a travel. Fouls on Jalen Mull. His second, that will send Work to the line to shoot 1-1. 7:05 to play. Works free throw hard off the front of the iron. Tipped around and comes down to Dullison. He'll fire it ahead to Reynolds, and they'll have another bucket. Reynolds with a great night tonight. Give that assist to Dullison. Hayes with it once again between the circles. He'll dribble, wants to shoot, now kicks it out to Phillips. Phillips spins, almost loses it. And he'll go across the lane, misses the shot. Dullison with the rebound ahead to Lutzenheiser. He'll alley-oop it, and a dunk by the big fella. Reynolds again and a turnover, and here comes St. Francis. Back to Dullison, he'll give it to Reynolds, and he'll hit another bucket. Timeout on the court as we take a look at the alley-oop from Lutzenheiser to Reynolds.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Cougars out to a 30-point lead, their largest lead of the evening. Into the game for St. Francis is Ija and Conlon Martin. Hayes with it now. He wants to drive. He'll spin baseline, gets cut off. Gives it up to King, who will go behind the back. And now a lot of one-on-one playing here as we get late into this game. King's shot drops in. And Thomas with it now. He'll give it to Martin. Right side to Mull. In the lane, a little floater up. No good. Rebound by Hayes. 5:37 to play. Hayes wants a screen there. He's got the taller Ija on him now. He just got to be careful. He's got four. Work in the lane off the glass. No good. Ija tips it, and it comes down to Lutzenheiser. In the corner to Martin. He'll go baseline. Trying to find Ija. Bounces off of Martin's head and out of bounds. Into the game, we've got Johnson back in for West Virginia Tech. And is that number 33? I believe it is. Daniels coming in for the first time this evening. So each team going to go a little deeper into their bench with the lead being out of control here late in the second half. Hayes with it for West Virginia Tech. He'll go to work. Now up top to King. King wants to drive. He will. Tipped away by Lutzenheiser out of bounds, and it'll be Tech's ball with 17 seconds on the shot clock. And for the first time tonight, we're going to get to see Scholes. Gerald Schultze into the game for the first time this evening, the 6'9" freshman. and he'll guard Daniels. A couple big dudes against each other. Now to work, back to Hayes. He'll launch a three from the corner. No good, tipped, and comes down to Work. Work is bumped on the body, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Schultze will pick up his first. His free throw up and good. Second one good as well. Ball into the front court now for the Cougars. He'll give it to Ija and back to Martin. Martin back to Ija on the left wing. And he'll look. Nope, he'll drive now. He'll go to the hoop, gets bumped by Work, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Work will pick up his fourth foul. 4:38 to play. Edja will shoot, and Hayden Smithy going to check in for the Cougars at the next whistle. His free throw goes hard off the back of the iron, and into the game comes Hayden Smithy. He'll replace Jalen Mall. Hayden Smithy played his high school ball right here in Fort Wayne with Conlon Martin at Bishop DeWanger High School. Smithy can shoot. He can also get up off the floor, so some instant offense as EJ hits the free throw. Hayes with it once again. Hayes gets the screen, now wants to go to the bucket, and he's fouled again. Two more coming now for that young man. Schultze picks up his second, and Hayes will shoot two. Things slowing down here, Hunter. And his first one up and good. And another free throw on the way is also good. Hayes now with 14 points. Thomas with it. Now he'll look inside for Schultze. Schultze will face up and get called for a charge. So Schultze going to use up all of his fouls here, evidently. Jared Schultze, the 6'9" freshman center from Minster, Ohio, Minster High School, and he ran over number 33. Brett Daniels, the senior, 6'8". So two big guys going at it as Hayes gets in the lane, fouled again, and goes to the line to shoot the and one. Fouls on number 50. Excuse me, that was on Smith. Hayes now with 16, looking for 17. Free throw is hard off the back of the iron. Ija with the rebound. He'll give it up now to Martin, who will give it to Smith. Smith with Johnson on him, gets a screen by Schultze, and Smith will pop a 18-footer and hit it. A 25-point lead as the Cougars hit their season average at 85. Hayes again, he'll stop and pop and hit it. Thomas with the ball once again for St. Francis. Little crossover inside to Schultze. Schultze puts it on the ground, now goes up strong and misses the bunny. Work with the board, and he'll push it ahead now to Hayes. Hayes looks in the corner for Daniels, and Daniels will launch a three. Short, and it comes down to King. King will fire a shot off the back of the iron, and it drops in. Ija with it now. In the corner to Smith. Smith thinks about it, now will drive. Tries to throw it down in the middle and throws it away, and here comes West Virginia heading out to Johnson. Johnson thinks about it on Martin. Martin, a very good defensive player for the Cougars. Hayes around the screen in the lane, takes a bump and off the glass and hits another one. His 20th point of the night. The lead down to 19 with 2:20 to play. Hayden Smithy with the ball now for St. Francis. Now to Martin. In the corner to Smith. He'll look inside for Scholes. Scholes will have it and lose it out of bounds. Phillips into the game for Tech, along with number 21, Voss. Voss in along with Phillips. Hayes will take a seat. He'll end the night with 20 points. Phillips now with the ball, 2:10 to play. As Tech has it, Daniels with it now. He'll go right side to King, who will launch a three-pointer. No good. Martin with the board. Ahead for Ija. He comes up with that, goes up and shoots, and it rolls around on the rim. Tipped around. Ija with the board, goes underneath the rim, up off the glass, and Ija with the bucket. That foul was on Tech's number 5, DeAndre King. He just foul shot, no good, comes down to Daniels. Daniels will give it up to Phillips. And now to work. Under 2 minutes to play. In the lane, off the glass, and another foul. I believe that foul's on Hayden Smithy. Smithy will pick up his first. Work with the foul shot. His free throw is good. And the second one good as well. Smith with it with 1:30 to play. He'll drive to the bucket. Gets cut off, but still hits a shot. Went up over Phillips. And hits the bucket as Phillips comes the other way on Smith. And blocked, and Ija comes up with the ball. Ija fires it to Smith. He'll come across the timeline. Back to Ija. Ija thought about it. He wants to drive. And that's going to be a charge on Ija. And that'll do it for Ija. He'll end the night with just 1 point. Anderson will check back in for Ija. Bass with it now with 1 minute to play. He'll back it out with Smith on him. Now launches a long three, in and out, and it comes down to Conlon Martin. Smith will run some clock here as it ticks down to 12. Gets the screen, goes in the lane. Left-handed layup up, no good. Daniels with the board. Daniels with it, back to Vass. Vass thinks about it, goes to the hoop. Stops, pops, off the glass and hits the bucket. Voss with the bucket for Tech. Martin across the timeline, and that's going to do it. Cougars win tonight 89-70 over West Virginia Tech. So I'm going to stand up for a minute. I'm going to let my cameraman get out of here. Just leave all that on. I'll shut it off, okay? And you can just hit stop record. And that's it. And I'm going to let my cameraman get out of here. He's a young guy. And we'll wait for the stats to be brought up to us here at the press box here at St. Francis. Thanks a lot, big fella. Cameraman Hunter Sosenheimer here tonight with me as he will exit stage right. And let's see here. Pretty much have most of the stats here myself anyways. And we'll take a look at them here as we go final as the Cougars win tonight big over West Virginia Tech. Taking a look at West Virginia Tech's stats. For Tech, they'll drop to 2-3 on the season. They got 9 points from Work, 7 from Martin, 5 from Array, a team high 20 from Hayes. It was King off the bench with 9, 2 from Voss, 2 from Griffin, and 14 from Scruggs, and a bucket also from DeAndre King. They only turned the ball over 10 times, and they were pretty good from the foul line as well. It's just too much St. Francis late in the first half. For St. Francis, they will improve to 6-0 on the season. Jalen Mole with 4 points, 3 from Dullison, Smith with 6, Lutzenheiser with 4, 10 from Cushenberry, 1 from Ija. They got from Compton 12. From Reynolds, he tonight had a huge night overall. 21 points, and I have him unofficially for 7 rebounds in this game. And the leading scorer tonight for St. Francis, Hunter Hollowell, with 23 big points. He shot 7 of 9 from three-point line tonight, and he's your player of the game here in the Northern Lakes Insurance Classic. So that does it for game number 2 here at the Hutzel Center. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon we'll be right here with more action, as at 1 o'clock we will have game number 1. It'll be Taylor taking on West Virginia Tech. So West Virginia Tech will have the short turnaround tomorrow, as they will take on a very good Taylor team. And then at 3 o'clock, East-West from Illinois will take on the Cougars at 3 o'clock here at the Hutzel Center. Now that should be an interesting matchup, because you're going to have Brandon Daughtry, who tonight dropped 50 in a loss to Taylor, and him and Hollowell could have a shootout at some point in that game. So we'll look forward to those 2 games tomorrow here in the Northern Lakes Insurance Classic. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, Mills Supply, and, of course, Parkview Sports Medicine. Well, the Cougars victorious tonight, 89-70 over West Virginia Tech. That'll do it here from the Hutzel Center. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching Cougars basketball live from the University of St. Francis.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream, and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen, and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way. Offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to a normal workout, the burn comes within the third rep, and then the 30-second break in between, there's no recovery. I can see the difference and feel the difference. It feels a lot more effective than just doing normal exercises.
Blood flow restriction training is the perfect tool to solve that fundamental problem. But this is something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't see very many places in Indiana at all.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Steals it, tips it away to himself. He'll go to the hoop and slam it down.
They attack, they get a great shot.
Here he comes. And Lucas Craw. Shot hits the post. And the centering feed to Luke Knipster. Shot scores.
The rush comes. Oh, almost picked off by Ethan Hoover.
And the takedown.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. They just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Developing athletes to be foundationally strong. Healthy and consistent training. expert staff, long-term athletic development. Parkview Sports Medicine Performance. Any athlete, any age, any skill level.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year, new equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit SummitCitySports.com.